Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast, and welcome to the preview show where we have a look forward at what I'm calling the fight card of the year, the one we've been looking forward to talking about for a long, long time since it's been announced. It's, of course, David Benavidez. It's Ring 4, Benavidez, Yarde, Sam Noakes, Abdullah Mason, Bam Rodriguez, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney. 4 absolute crackers from top to bottom. Really looking forward to that, so stick around for the whole episode and subscribe if you haven't already. Straight into it. The main event, David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde, is actually probably the fight I'm looking forward to least out of the main 4, because I think it's going to be a particularly one-sided affair, but I do like watching David Benavidez nonetheless.
You go in for Anthony Yarde win, aren't you?
Yeah, comfortably, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this fight card. As much as we've been, since it's been announced, we were sort of talking about it, looking forward to it, but it almost feels like it snuck up on us a bit. It's a few days out now. I'm really looking forward to this weekend to have 4 what I think will be very good world title fights. I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, as you said, that main event I think feels almost like the easiest one to call out of the 4. I don't want to be disrespectful to Anthony Yarde. He's obviously put himself in that position, and rightly so. He's earned it after his recent performances, I suppose, but...
Seems a bit harsh laughing, but
Sorry.
I know what you mean.
Sorry.
But, not...
Especially after what Lyndon Arthur just did. Yeah, you got a point.
You've got to give him some credit, though, because was there many other takers for Benavidez? Did anyone else want to step up and, he's considered as one of the most...
I'm not being funny. I thought it would be Callum Smith. The Brit that would step up to fight him, not Anthony Yarde. See, I give him props for that, but yeah, like you said, it's probably the fight on the card that's so easy to call, but it's just a great card top to
That's where
bottom.
I think he's earned some credit there, because Benavidez is probably one of, if not the most avoided in terms of that weight class at the moment, and he was the one that was brave enough to answer the call. So
he's one of the more avoided world champions in world boxing, I think. Yeah. For a WBC champion, the fact that nobody is chomping at the bit to fight you, no one has wanted to fight you for a long, long time. In a division where you've got Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, and even those guys aren't, desperate to make an undisputed fight against him. Yeah, I think he's probably, you'd have to say, he's the most avoided.
Yeah, but I can only see really Benavidez winning. I think it's right that he is the heavy favourite going into it, but you never know. It could be one of those shock things where Anthony Yarde, and there's no pressure on him, I suppose. Like, people are expecting him to turn up on Saturday and be beaten if he can put a decent show in together, and he is, more than anything, he's going to believe that he can get the job done. So, yeah, I'm hoping it'll be a good competitive fight, but I think it, as we've already said, will probably be the most easy out of the 4 when it comes to us making this prediction later that we're going to choose from.
I think the fight that none of us expected to see when this card was announced, the one that kind of got to me, it was like, oh wow, was Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, because it came off the back of when Brian Norman Jr. had only just got a brutal knockout over in Japan, and obviously Devin Haney comes off the back of losing to Ryan Garcia, obviously with a fight in the middle that was relatively uninteresting, but or losing in quite spectacular fashion to Ryan Garcia. And you marry those things together with Devin Haney now only recently up at welterweight. You marry those things together and you think that's a recipe for real trouble. And then when you really think about it, you think, hang on, but Devin Haney at every possible opportunity really has outperformed everyone's expectations. Yeah, he always pulls it out in the big fights, and defensively he is, phenomenal. And you put those things together and you've got a recipe for what could be a really interesting fight.
We go from probably the easiest fight to call to probably the hardest fight to call on this card straight away, and it's stacked. And fair play to Devin Haney. I remember when we watched him in Times Square, I was a little bit disappointed.
I'm yawning just thinking about it then.
Well, I thought then I was speaking too long then.
No, that was...
It normally happens when I
thinking
talk
about
anyway.
Devin Haney's last fight.
But it was, wasn't it? It was like a bit like, I don't know about this with Haney, but fair play. Brian Norman Jr., that knockout that he had over in Japan, it was scary. And it was like a realization of, okay, I'm going to start, I think he's going to be people are going to start listening to him, and people are going to start going, maybe we don't want to take that Norman Jr. fight if we get offered it, but fair play to Haney. It's such a good fight. And I think you look at it, Brian Norman Jr. has got a massive, massive opportunity because, you know, Haney against Ryan Garcia that first time around, obviously we knew what happened afterwards. That took a lot out of him, I thought. So he could be catching Haney at the perfect time in his career, but, you know, Haney could have an absolute resurgence on Saturday night and show something that some of us may not be expecting to see from him.
But I just think when you look at Devin Haney with an unbeaten run, and I will say it's an unbeaten run because 100%. Of that Ryan Garcia
no controversy.
There, Kambosos Jr., Vasyl Lomachenko, Regis Prograis, Ryan Garcia, then Jose Carlos Ramirez, and then Brian Norman Jr. at the end of that. That is a generational run of fights. That's serious.
And I want to say one of those Kambosos Jr. fights, or even both of them, were down under in Australia.
Both of them were, yeah. Both of them were, yeah.
Fair play.
I'm hoping that it is an entertaining fight. Like we've already said, a Devin Haney fight sometimes can be the one where, especially when it's late into the night. I know this is a bit of a later start on Saturday, so for me anyway, I tend to fall asleep watching, but I'm hoping it's exciting. The last exciting fight we seen him involved in was the Ryan Garcia fight, and that was just purely from the chaos that unfolded from it, and the fact that going into it, I don't think any of us really expected him to be in as much trouble as he was through the fight. So hopefully on Saturday, Brian Norman Jr. can pull him into those deep waters a bit more, where we have to... I'd just like to see a bit more from Devin Haney. He's a fantastically skilled boxer, and it's probably selfish from our point of view, but we just want to see him in a bit more action, I suppose, just a bit more range to what he can show in the ring.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. If you put on a performance like that for 12 rounds and beat the guy, then during the fight it's not particularly interesting. But afterwards, you go, do you know what? I've watched a master at work though. That's seriously impressive. When you have a fight like the Ryan Garcia fight, which again obviously has that big asterisk over it now, but where you're eating left hands for a living, then you start to call into question that, and it compounds it. And then you include the fact that people don't particularly like his old man. I can see why people don't love Devin Haney, but I don't see how you can't rate Devin Haney. I think he's a brilliant boxer, a brilliantly talented boxer.
He's probably one of the best in America out of all of them.
Probably one of the most skilled
5,
boxers in the world.
Yeah.
It's just like you say, he's not got that lights out power. That's why people prefer Tank Davis, who then was going to get in the ring with Jake Paul. And
why did he bring him up for?
Lost to Lamont Roach Jr. So
it is really interesting though. Like you said, he 32-0. He's a former undisputed champion, and like the run you alluded to earlier, absolutely brilliant in terms of some of the people he's fought. But still, he just doesn't. I don't know. There's just something. He doesn't quite click with boxing fans.
It's like we said with Shakur Stevenson. Superstar talent, superstar resume, and but he's just not a superstar.
I don't even necessarily like. He's not like someone you would actively dislike in terms of his personality either. I don't feel
it's his old man that people don't like.
I think that is the thing more than anything that rubs off on people. But yeah, there's no doubt in he's a very, very talented boxer, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight Saturday. It's one of all four very entertaining to watch, I'm sure, but yeah, that one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and then the other fight that I think we did know it was getting made, but when it was finally made, particularly for us British boxing fans and myself included in that as a big fan of Noakes myself, was so happy to see. And Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, or Sam Noakes, Abdullah Mason as it is on BoxRec as the home fighter, is a phenomenally intriguing fight. And I think it's one of those where American fans and American boxing fans will be saying, walk in the park for Abdullah Mason. This is, tap in merchant. Sam Noakes and British boxing fans will be saying, this is going to be a really difficult night. I think Noakes is going to beat him. He's got frailties in his defense, etc., etc. And the reality is the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of the two. And to which way that swings, I don't know. But either way I do know is I think it will be a really interesting fight, a really interesting clash of styles.
Yeah, I want it to be a very exciting back and forth fight, but I don't know, it's got that feeling, like you said, especially from more probably of the American audience, that they I don't know whether they'd expect Mason to win this comfortably.
I think they will. Yeah, he's comfortably the favourite in the odds.
I wouldn't be shocked
No.
if Mason wins it quite comfortably on the scorecards, just because of the style of boxer he is. He's very talented, but also again, we've seen Sam Noakes so many times, and he's got the ability. And Abdullah Mason's also shown, he's been dropped before. He done very well when he was in that fight where he got dropped. He come back and done very well in that, but that will give some confidence to Noakes. If I can get at him, if I can drop him, if I can, get through his defence in any way, that's going to give him confidence. And someone like Noakes, once he's got you hurt, he knows how to finish a job. And yeah, again, it's an exciting one. Hopefully we'll see it play out in a real sort of 50-50 battle between the two.
I do think, though, this is Abdullah Mason's sort of big, sort of massive, not a massive step up, but it's a sort of step up now where he goes.
Well, it is a massive step up.
Yeah, all right then. Massive step up against Sam Noakes. I go back to that Ivan Mendy fight where he didn't lose a round that night. I thought it was one of the best performances against Mendy that I've seen from Noakes. And then he went on and fought Ryan Walsh, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And I just... You love him, let's be honest. He's your favourite British boxer, probably.
Yeah,
one of them.
Active at the moment, yeah, probably.
Abdullah Mason was my prospect of the year in 2024.
Laughable.
It is laughable, but you read articles, you look into it.
No, it's laughable because he was like 16-0 or something when you made it.
No, that's what I mean.
But he's 21, he's a really young kid, or 22 now, I think.
But how much can you read into Abdullah Mason's record? How much has he been tested as a pro? The first sort of 4 rounds in this fight for me are going to be very, very interesting.
See, I actually, the way I see this fight going in my head is I think Abdullah Mason will start fast, start aggressive, and look to do what he always does and blast people out of there pretty comprehensively. I don't think he will shift Noakes early. And I think when he doesn't shift Noakes early, then he's going to get dragged into a bit of a fight. And that's when we'll see an interesting fight. And who comes through that 4 to 8 round range, who comes out of that the freshest or the best on the scorecards, will then determine how the rest of that fight. Because I do generally think, the Abdullah Mason's got a phenomenal record on paper, but actually when you look at the way Sam Noakes has been built up in terms of the types of fights he's had and the step-ups he's had when he's had them, he's had a little bit of everything. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter now. So I think Abdullah Mason will have a degree of, okay, when he hits him with that first big shot and he absorbs it to a degree. Or maybe I'm seeing Noakes' durability in a way that it isn't true, but from what I've seen, he seems like a durable guy.
I think it's perfect timing as well for Sam Noakes. I think he's taken the right steps in his professional career, and this is the sort of step now where let's see what you can do, and it's exactly the same with Abdullah Mason, but he hasn't really proven himself yet, Abdullah Mason. So Saturday night is his sort of, like I said, massive step up. But for Sam Noakes, he's slowly climbed that ladder, and he's up the top now, and it's all on him to put on a great performance for the British fans. But yeah, listen, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney's got fireworks written all over it. This one, I think, is even better. Yeah,
I think this will be. And I just think the style-wise, you got two absolute hitters getting in the ring with each other, I'm not going to say the fated, guaranteed knockout, because I don't necessarily think it necessarily is that. But what it is going to be is two guys that have the capacity to knock each other out. And that is always interesting. It just adds that little kind of, every shot that lands, you kind of take that sharp intake of breath because you think,
you get closer to the edge of
that you don't necessarily get with other fighters.
Yeah, we could end this weekend with double the amount of male world champions from Britain than we currently have if Yarde and Noakes both get the job done.
That would be quite nice. That would be quite nice.
And then we'll have Anthony Joshua add one on.
But I don't see it happening.
It's going to be tough.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez, a fighter we always look forward to seeing. A fighter in Fernando Daniel Martinez, former IBF
great fighter,
champion. Yeah, really
unbelievable fighter.
Difficult fighter for pretty much everyone, bar probably Bam Rodriguez. He is that kind of fighter where you struggle to find someone that you think would test him. I think he's the most statistically accurate boxer in world boxing in terms of punch accuracy over a certain amount per round. His footwork is supreme. The punches come from every angle at once, it seems. Are we expecting more of the same from Bam Rodriguez?
Probably.
Yeah. He is a generational talent.
Is this a good chance as well, though, for some of the more casual, perhaps British? But actually, I say it just as I was saying that. I think I look at this card. This is the card similar to Bivol Beterbiev that we as boxing fans get excited with, that maybe the casual boxing fans won't get quite so excited with because there's no real huge marketable names on it. But I was going to say, do you think Bam Rodriguez finally gets a big platform to prove the level of a fighter is? But I don't think it's quite that
platform.
show.
It's probably the biggest platform he's been on as a pro yet, and it's a good opponent stood opposite him. You know, this Martinez guy, I remember watching him over in Japan last year. It was what I find interesting about, I remember watching that fight back and we didn't have English commentary on it. It was just Japanese and I was just enjoying it. I wasn't getting fed information of, oh, he's doing this well, that we normally see on DAZN lately. A bit of biasy maybe. We didn't see that and I didn't hear that. And he's just, well, the first fight he had over in Japan against Ioka was probably one of the fights of the years last year that no one really talked about. And then he went back over there and rematched him and all that. And he won both of them, you know, on a unanimous decision, I think. I could be wrong
both
there.
times unanimous decisions, yeah.
It's a good sort of, listen, we talk about fighters wanting to see him in competitive fights. This is what we got. And listen, Bam Rodriguez is a fighter that, listen, he's been in competitive fights for a while now. So,
yeah.
And I think now it's just a sort of platform where, like you said, us British fans, even though it starts at 8 o'clock, so I'm hoping that sort of 10 o'clock he's on, that we can see him. It's a sort of time that we can see him properly. But I'm expecting big things from him on Saturday night.
Yeah, it feels like a boxing card for boxing fans.
Yeah.
It's 8 fighters who are at the top level, going to be some really competitive, good to watch fights from the first to the last. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think the predictions will be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get on to the predictions in just a moment. Before that, I actually remembered this while we were talking. Leigh Wood versus Josh Warrington 2 has been announced. Yep. In I think early February next year, I think it is. And it made me think of it when you said my favourite fighters, because obviously Josh was previously that, or still is, but obviously is less active in his career. That's an interesting fight. I think a rematch we've talked about for a while that just made sense, particularly after Leigh Wood lost to Kachache. It was kind of like, yeah, make that fight. It's got bite. It's got interest.
How long has it been since they last fought each other?
It's been a while. I don't remember. Well, actually, I can tell you exactly when it was. It was October or September of 2023, because it's the reason this podcast exists. Because me and Harry were talking about it in the foyer downstairs at uni. Wow. We were talking about, because I was a Leeds fan.
Where is the
full circle moment?
Yeah.
We could go there, watch it and call it quits. Right?
Yeah,
go.
Nah,
where are they doing it?
In a boxing ring, I think.
Leeds, innit?
Good show.
I've forgotten.
Nottingham?
I think it might be Nottingham. Yeah, I think it is Nottingham Arena. But I'll double check.
We have
against Josh Warrington, Nottingham Arena, Nottinghamshire. Is the location.
It would be a good one to get to be fair. Since it's the fight that sort of started this podcast in the first place, it would be kind of cool to cover it in some way.
It would be quite good. But
do you know that Harlem Eubanks fighting this weekend as well?
Is he against? Yeah. Oh, is it also in a boxing ring? Can I just check?
Hold on. I'm not that. Josh Wagner of Canada.
Oh, actually, yes, I did. I remember. I did see that one get announced.
So,
we've been from one Eubank to another.
It's on a Channel 5. Free to
I love a Channel 5 fight.
It's one of my favourites.
I could take or leave him.
Do you know why?
Really look forward to it.
Because it's free to air. I get a message off my bumps.
Oh,
he goes, boxing
nice.
on tonight.
Boxing on tonight,
I'm thinking he ain't got DAZN or TNT.
No.
He's like Channel 5. I'm like,
he's got Netflix. He's telling you when the next MVP card is.
Please don't.
Maybe not.
The next MVP card that looked good was Amanda Serrano's fight.
Yeah.
So ruined it with that. But
let's load up the predictions app. If you don't know, we do it on the Boxing News app. You can do it alongside with us. We're not sponsored in any way.
Oh, they've got a mistake on you.
No, what's that? Do tell. Pray do tell.
They got Artur Beterbiev on you, and he's not even fighting.
Shocking. Shoddy.
Terrible.
Well, who's he fighting against on there?
Dean Nicholson.
Oh, I reckon he stops him. Well, we'll do.
Have they added that without telling anyone? Have we just?
I don't think so.
Have we accidentally found an exclusive fight for this weekend?
Knowing boxing news apps,
But this is coming out on Thursday as well, so it's
I'm
probably
gonna say no.
Probably gonna be out there. So are we ignoring that?
We're going to ignore that one.
I'm gonna go better BF by stoppage, just in case he does turn up at some point.
Yeah.
Week.
All right.
It's impressive that he's
well.
got a 97% knockout predictions on the boxing news app, considering he's not fighting, but he's still going to get a
A
knockout.
couple of people have gone for the draw.
Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes is the first one at 8 o'clock, it looks like, according to this one. 89% knockout rate versus 93% knockout rate. Benjamin Thomas, what are you going for?
Oh, you've stuck her on me first.
Yeah.
It's not very nice, is it?
I think it's going to be a very competitive back and forth fight, but I've gone with Abdullah Mason just edging it on a decision.
I agree. As much as it pains for me to say, I would love to see.
I would not be shocked it goes the other way.
Exactly. I would love to see Sam Noakes win, but I just think Abdullah Mason's got enough.
Yeah, it does hurt to be an American boxing fan watching Abdullah Mason lose on Saturday. I'm going for Sam Noakes.
Oh, he's going.
Not a chance. There was no world in which I was going to do anything else.
Well done. Normally you don't go with your heart.
No.
So fair
Sometimes you have to follow your heart, not your mind.
Hold on.
Not your mind.
Hold on. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a very
long day. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, Fernando Daniel Martinez. I'm going to kick this one off.
You don't stop an Argentinian.
You don't stop an Argentinian, but I reckon this guy's got some falsified documents because there's no way he's Argentinian because Bam Rodriguez is going to stop him. Yeah, you don't stop an Argentinian, but he's going to stop an Argentinian.
Well, I'm going with your normal prediction, so I've gone Jesse Rodriguez by decision.
I rate that.
I'm going to agree with Sam. I think Bam gets the stoppage.
But you think he stops an Argentinian? Because I want to make it very clear, I don't think you stop an Argentinian.
I think he stops this Argentinian on Saturday night.
Nah, see, I reckon we'll find out in fight week he's actually from Nicaragua, and then we'll see, and then he'll stop him. But that's my prediction. We'll leave that for another day.
I'm just better after the Wales result the other week.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, you never beat an Argentinian. That's what I heard. Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, welterweight 12 rounder. Horrible one to predict. But how are you going to predict it, Harry? I'll go over to you, Ben, while Harry thinks. You go draw.
I can't split them.
All right, that to be fair.
I can't split them.
That wouldn't even be shocking, would it? But no. I've gone Devin Haney by decision.
So have I.
I think it's going to be really close.
I don't think a draw is possible. I think
I'm worried this going to be a ball fest.
For me, I think either Devin Haney beats him in a points decision and Norman Jr. just can't land that shot, or Norman Jr. lands that shot and splats him. Okay. And I think those are the only other two. And then David Benavidez knockout. Knockout. KO.
Benavidez points decision. I think Anthony Yarde will offer something a little bit more.
I'm sure he'll offer something. So I don't know why I'm in this mood today.
I've gone David Benavidez by stoppage.
We have this Sam every week.
If you want, yeah. I think people might get quite frustrated with it. No, I just think with Yarde, he's obviously stopped by Kovalev and Beterbiev.
But that Kovalev was his sort of first real step up.
And I think he looked. I do think he looks decent in those fights, but I think
just got the experience.
I think I think he just lets a little bit too much through the guard. Yeah. And against someone like David Benavidez, in the same way as like something against Artur Beterbiev, you can be impressive, but it's inevitable. I think
you've locked it in. Nope,
I've locked it in.
Once you've locked it in, you can't change it. You know. It's not allowed.
Do you think he's be in the main event as well? Do you think that will give a bit of added motivation to Benavidez?
Perhaps where he could get the stoppage, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, like you say, we'll have to wait and see.
Is it on pay-per-view as well? Super question.
Yes.
I thought they weren't doing pay-per-views anymore.
Well, I assume it's on DAZN Ultimate or the Ring Pass.
Are we going to end the podcast now before talking about the subscription cost?
No, we haven't said this before, but I think sporting fans are getting ripped off.
Is it 20?
If you do want to know what our thoughts are on the DAZN pay-per-view pricing model, click any of our last 5 episodes.
Especially when they give out discounts an hour before the pay-per-view starts.
Okay, yeah. Let's
people that didn't buy the Parker.
Let's talk about this. So,
I was furious.
How much did you pay for the Parker Wardley pay-per-view, Harry?
$24.99.
And why was one of the reasons you paid for the pay-per-view for Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley?
So I was told, or I read on social media, that DAZN were offering people, I think it was 20% off. I think it is, for the Eubank Ben rematch to be $19.99.
Wow.
So I messaged you on Saturday afternoon because you asked, didn't you? And I said, I've got it for $19.99. And I went, bosh, have that, boys.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it came to an hour before. So what's this now? 3:45 on Saturday.
Yep.
My phone's buzzing. Ben's got it for $19.99. Sam's got it for $19.99. And I even had an email to say you can have 20% off the pay-per-view. And I thought, hang on a minute.
They did an hour-long flash sale, which meant you got the exact same price, but you didn't have to pay an extortionate amount of money to watch Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker. So
you basically paid £25 to have 20% off.
You paid £25 to get the full price cost of that pay-per-view card.
It's $24.99 as well, this one on Saturday night.
Try
70 quid.
Try buying it as late as possible because then hopefully you'll get another 20% off.
So I'm going to watch Wales beat New Zealand on Saturday now in a couple of days, and then I'm going to come home and buy it. That's the plan.
Yeah, fair enough.
And hopefully get 20% off.
Well, if you two are going to be paying for all the pay-per-view, then obviously, like, subscribe. We'll be talking about it later in the week, next week on Tuesday, as well as previewing about what's coming up. All that good stuff. 2 podcasts every single week. If you like the sound of that, stick around. Spotify, if you prefer the audio version. Social media for lots of great content. And other than that, we'll see you all next week.
Punches chance. Punches Chance Podcast.